Retail theft has been on the increase around the country, and it's a major issue in a number of major cities. Is the same thing happening in the Phoenix area? If not, why not? And if so, what's being done about it? To help answer those questions, we welcome Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell. Good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Retail theft, Maricopa County, how big of an issue is this?
It's a big issue everywhere. It is really hitting parts of the country like we've seen in Los Angeles, Chicago. It's still hitting here, but not to the same degree.
Okay. Are you seeing any trends? Maybe not to the same degree, but are you seeing trends?
What we're seeing here is we're seeing people come over from other states, California, New Mexico, and Nevada, to take day trips here to commit acts of organized retail theft.
I was going to get to the organization aspect in a second, but are we dealing with smash and grab? What are you seeing out there?
We're seeing largely people who go in and just grab a lot of stuff and then run out with it. For example, my office just indicted 2 women who came over from California for the day, and they hit 6 different cities in a 1-day period. And we indicted one for 12 counts and the other for 10 counts of organized retail theft.
I was going to say, and there's that word again, organized. How organized is this?
Well, when we say organized, what we're talking about is these are not people who are stealing goods to meet their needs. This is not somebody stealing a loaf of bread. These are people who are stealing vast amounts of things that they can resell. Some of those include cosmetics, detergent, baby formula, those types of things.
And I was going to ask, I mean, what happens to this stuff when it is stolen, when it's taken off the rack? Where does it go? Are people buying these things? Is a black market growing, coinciding with that growth?
Yes, absolutely. They take them to fences and they're put up on oftentimes the internet for resale. And so it's that money is going back into fueling and funding additional criminal activity. Sometimes it's tied into the drug trade, sometimes it's not. But it's not just a matter of people selling it for just to get a little bit of extra money.
Right. And again, the organizational aspect of it, we've seen viral videos from San Francisco, Los Angeles, and these major cities where a crowd of people, they just swarm into a store, they take everything within reach, and they run out. We haven't hit that level yet, have we?
No, the closest we came here, I think, was this Scottsdale Fashion Square, in relation to a protest. But what people need to know is those people were subsequently found and prosecuted for that behavior.
What are you hearing from these other cities? Are those people found and prosecuted?
What we're seeing from other cities is we're seeing district attorneys, which are the equivalent of the county attorney, make announcements that they're not going to prosecute below a certain dollar value. And that's just brought on people's ideas, I'm going to steal up to that amount. And so we've made it very clear here in Maricopa County, that's not the rule here. If you come here, we're going to prosecute you, even if it's below, for example, $1,000.
Below $1,000, that sounds, okay. There was a viral video, I think it was in Scottsdale, a jewelry store was robbed. And the initial booking, what was the initial booking on that, if you can tell us? And did that change with more information? Yes,
initially the booking was a lower level of theft. It went up as the police were able to determine the value of the items taken. So in Arizona, the sentencing is determined by the value of the items stolen. And so when they found out how much that jewelry was worth, we were able to up that to a Class 2 felony, which is the second highest felony in Arizona.
Indeed, but in general, and the initial booking in that one would be an example, but in general, is retail theft taken seriously enough? Has it been taken seriously enough?
I think it's been taken seriously enough in Maricopa County. One of the things that I think has hurt us here is we, like other states in the nation, are seeing fewer cops on the streets, and so there is a slower response time. But people should not equate that to mean that they will not investigate and that we will not prosecute. We will prosecute these types of offenses.
Are police showing up in time for these? I mean, what is the police response?
They may or may not be able to get there in time to stop the person from leaving. But based on, the current technology where we have videotape and, hopefully people will write down the person's description or license plate number, we can follow up on that and put those cases together and prosecute them. And that's why I have an organized retail theft task force within my office to coordinate not only with individual police departments, but these people hit different cities in a single day to make sure that we get the accumulated effect of their criminal behavior, put it together, and prosecute them for the felonies that they actually are committing.
Are the police departments around Maricopa County, are they cooperating? Do they understand this and have the same kind of interest in this that you do?
Absolutely. They see the damage that this is doing to communities. They understand that when these businesses go out of business, you have an empty building, which brings blight. You don't have any tax revenue from that. You lose jobs. You lose the availability of services. And these are hitting oftentimes the poorer parts of town first.
Right.
So people who are most dependent on public transportation have to go even farther to get what they need.
What can retailers do to address the situation? And I ask because there's criticism out there that some retailers, they don't want to spend the money on security, and they would rather close down the store than lose a little bit of profit with security. What do you make of that dynamic?
Well, I think retailers have other ways to handle it than that. One of the things they can do is work with their local police department to see if there are things that they can do to make their store less attractive to people who want to do this. They also need to understand that they need to report this so that we can act upon it. A lot of times, these are people that come in and the stores recognize them. These are frequent flyers to the stores. We need to be able to take those people off the street, but we can't do that if they don't report.
What are the legal consequences for retailers that try to stop this kind of activity?
Well, I understand that a lot of their attorneys will tell them, not to interfere with mere theft because, first of all, you don't know if this individual is on a drug or drugs. You don't know if they're packing a weapon. And so they tell them to let them go ahead and do that. That's one thing, but that's very different than not reporting it to the police to be prosecuted later on.
Yeah. Last question on this. This is obviously a point of interest from you. You're emphasizing this. Between retailers, police departments, attorneys, county attorneys in Maricopa and around Arizona. I've asked this before, but it just seems like this has all of a sudden become an issue. Is it something new?
I think the magnitude of it is new, and I think it started when you had district attorneys in other states basically say, we're not prosecuting this. And they gave a false narrative of trying to make this sound like this is people that are just trying to survive and we shouldn't punish poverty. This has nothing to do with people trying to survive. This is people who are ripping off goods so that they can sell it and fund other criminal behavior. Yeah,
that experiment regarding they'll just leave them alone under a certain amount, you think that's gone awry?
Absolutely. We've shown that broken windows theory works, that if you take care of the small stuff, less large stuff happens. And we've proven it in the negative by seeing what happened in Los Angeles. They don't take care of the small stuff, and the big stuff has exploded over there.
Rachel Mitchell, Maricopa County Attorney, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.